Alright, hopefully this is recording. So we're back again. We're going to do some more Space Invaders, not very exciting. This is the IDE at the moment. Now when you start it up, it will have an annoying bunch of words to read over. Just to say, because I'm hopefully releasing it within the next week or two. Just to say, please don't get angry at me if it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. This is just an introductory version. Okay, hold on. We'll reload in Space Invaders. So the last time we did this, the scene stuff didn't really work, and it still doesn't work. That doesn't show up anymore. That used to actually work. This little thing here. You click on this, then you go to the scenes. So first thing down. Maybe I just disabled that area. That was the old style way of doing scenes, and there's a slightly new way now. I've got a piece of paper. I'm going to write these things down. So next to the microphone, scene. Select the. All right. So we're starting off. We have two scenes. We have our title scene and we have our in-game scene. Now when we run it, it shows the title screen. This is probably to be the background for the main game. So it no longer does the actual game yet because we haven't finished it. So I went in and fixed the bug that made the scene stuff not work. And then I got very excited and decided, because it's kind of like, I don't think I really quite fixed it. It's a bit of a mess, and it's like probably need to upgrade the engine, the running, the internal runner engine, as I call it, to a newer version, to what I want to have in the fight, because it needs to be upgraded to properly be able to do local variables and functions, general user functions. Which I have done mostly. That's like, it's not completely working. So when you get this, you'll be able to select. It won't say use latest. It will say use experimental IR engine, which is the internal runner engine. So if you click on that, it will use that. I don't know if it will work on the Space Invaders game because I haven't tried it yet. But anyway, we'll just go to the. We're going to make another new sprite though. So we're going new, and we're going to find that one, and we're going to call it start game. Start button. Not that matters. It's going to change the variable. Variable in sprite should say class. Should. We're going to call that start. Start button. We are going to get onto the. I forgot. I haven't really finished the game much, have I? Because you can't die. So we'll do that after this. Yeah. So later on, you may notice that the text doesn't change straight away on the thing. When I change it here, you have to click on it. That's kind of like not my fault. It's the JavaFX. Whatchamacallit. Whatever these views are called. I don't really like the way it's like. I'm going to have to fiddle around and muck around with things. But anyway, yeah, this should say, this where it says the word variable here. I've got like a little thing. It says untitled folder 2. What was I going to say? Yeah, it should say class, because it's not really I don't want you to use it as a variable. I want you to use it as a class. And again, because I'm trying to teach object-oriented programming from this, it's going to use words that you might see in other languages. So the start button, we better draw a start button. I'm just going to draw. It used to actually do, believe it or not, this used to actually do. I'm going to make it look terrible. I haven't. The one thing I haven't changed is the options about how these things work. So, 2 color options. So what I mean, that's another thing. So I actually don't know. Maybe there should be a little example. I think there should be a little example, because I don't know if it's going to do. The outside will be. I'm pretty sure it's set up so that the primary color will be the outside color, and the sub will be the inside color. which is what it is. All right, but I think some people might want that the other way round. That's a very big button, but we're gonna not use that one. We're gonna use this one, so that I can change it around. Yeah, it did used to use the rounded edges, but there's problems with the rounded edges stuff. Is that there's differences between what you're actually viewing on the screen and the way it's rendered and all these kind of things. But now that I think about it, because I changed the rendering engine, it's probably easier than it used to be. So this is going to have a green and blue. It's going to be a terrible button. And then we're going to get rid of that one, so that can go away. And then we'll go to the text. And it does have a text mode. And we're going to change it to... And it does actually do... use... It does actually do... outline text with filled in things, so we can actually do that. And if we type in start game, right, and we can change the font to 30, and we can turn off pixel art, and then that doesn't, alright, the pixel art thing doesn't always change. Okay, pixel art text not auto update. Alright, these things will eventually, it's a bit small, you can't rescale things very easily. That will happen. So anyway, we've got that, and we can make it bold and italics. Then we have to kind of, so the text is not great. There was going to be a shadow option, but there isn't at the moment. There used to be tons of other options because I was using a different graphics engine, and that had more flexibility, and you could do glow effects and other sorts of neat little effects. But you can't do that because I'm using the old school Java graphics engine now, because maybe it should be real time when you drag it around, I think. Alright, so that's my start game button. And then what we will do is, well, first off we'll do it on, what was the name of the start title? Actually, it doesn't really matter because you only ever see it in the title. So, clicked go in game. Alright, I was going to make a little action. We're going to do the action things. And we might do the action thing. Where's the little action? Well, there's the action script stuff. We'll do the action style later, because that's the thing I haven't touched for a while, and I don't know if it all works. So we have to do that. And now we have to go to our title thing, and we have to drag in the start button. It's not as big as I thought it would be. Oh, there it is. Okay, so that's my start game. We're going to move it down to there. Now when I run it, invalid usage. Alright, what have I got wrong? Go in game. There's not a scene reference. What the heck is it called? Variable. Well, this is a quick way to waste time. Why does that not work? Oh my gosh. Probably should have tried things. Isn't this what I was fixing last time? I feel like this is what I was fixing last time, and I feel like I fixed it, so I'm not too sure what's going wrong here. Go title. Alright, well, what we will try oh, well, that works, so that's a problem. Stage in title, enemy in title. I am clicked. So why does it not understand this? Oh, what if I've got these two mixed up? We'll try that. We'll try and work this out. Let's do some quick bug testing. Nope. Alright, well then we'll rename the variable to cat. Cat. And scripts. Go cat. Maybe I spelt it wrong. Apparently, that's interesting. I must have spelt... except it's not going. Alright. I'm about to go to cat. And it shouldn't actually say this. Print done go cat. Because go is a final statement. You shouldn't be able to do anything after that. It's not going to complain when you compile it, but it's not going to happen. Oh, I know why it's not working. Okay. Alright, good. It's always good to do some print statements. And the reason it's not working is there's no colliders. And because I don't have any square colliders yet, we're going to have to do some circles. And we will just... well, we'll just do 2 big circles. Or add circle and add circle. Yeah, select another one. Another thing. Where did I put it? Where did I put my pen? I've lost my pen. You can't see me searching for my pen, but I've lost my pen. Oh, here we go. We'll use this pen. Okay. Colliders do not auto-select. So the problem is I have to click on it after I add it in. It should automatically, when I add a new collider, it should automatically... one of the first things I do, I promise this when it's released, is have rectangular colliders, and then later on general polygon colliders. So there we go, and now we'll try again, and it says nothing has happened. Why did it not work? Oh, it's definitely clicked. It doesn't even need to do that. I didn't need the colliders. It's telling me it's clicked, but it's not doing anything. Well, why does this happen? I mean, I haven't actually done a clicked thing, have I? So I don't really know if clicked works. What if I get rid of it? What if I do a clicked? A clicked without that. Nope, nothing is showing up. Alright, so let's go back to starting in game. Right, and something has gone wrong. Form for process. There's no game. Well, this is not really that working out. That used to work. We were working on it before. Wait, the in-game stuff. No wonder it's not working, because we added all on start level. Oh, that's right. So in the scripts, all the work was under the flag stuff. Going to title, start, and start. This is what we have to bring back. Okay, let's fix this up. Why was the variable name? Did I write in game with an N? In game. Alright, I think it had an N. I think maybe that's why it didn't work. It will tell me there's an error now, because it doesn't know where cat is. We can go back to cat. In game. Expression is not a scene. Where does this come from? Why is it confused? Why is the script, the stage, not confused about in-game, but the start button is? Is there something else called? I think there is. In-game we have in the player, well, stage, ha, not that useful. So in the stage, this is kind of interesting. So we have a Boolean variable called in-game. So there's an interesting quirk that I did not realize. The interesting quirk is this thing here. When you say start, it is looking up the reference to the scene from only scenes, but because this go thing is meant to have a general expression, it's looking up at the first variable that it finds called in-game, and the stage in-game is masking out the scene variable. So in fairness, I think scenes should have capital letters at the beginning, just like sprites. So I'm going to call it in-game scene use. And we're going to find in-game again. We're going to go, that one's fine, that's the variable one, while in-game. Oh, we were going to change something else too. We have to change, once we've got this crazy stuff working, in-game scene. So that at least, start button. Where was the one that actually scripts? Why did it not pick this one out? Search. This is in the scripts. Hold on. Okay, we have another bug. Another bug is that the global search option, which is in the edit menu, it's find in project Control Shift F. Global search does not search the stage. No search stage. Another bug, yay! Because the stage in-game thing is not listed in the find options. Only the sprite ones are. Okay, so that's going to be in-game script. And we made a mistake. In-game script. What are you talking about? In-game scene! Oh my gosh. Dun, dun, dun. But something has gone wrong. Alright, where's my player gone? What happened to the player? We don't need the flag anymore. We're not doing that stuff. On start level. Alright, I think I know what it's because we're doing the scenes. Scenes don't normally have anything in them, so can we? I don't know. I think this is probably not the best way, but we'll add in our player sprite, and they can be about there. So this is my initial player sprite position, which is a bit wonky. Alright, there we go. We're back in the game. An annoying sound effect, which I remembered. I can turn the volume down. Magic of volume controls. Alright, so this game is working. So the first thing we are going to change, we're back into the boring game. I don't know why the click thing doesn't work, so we've got the click to work out, which we hadn't worked on before. So the thing that I wanted to change is when we move here, the first thing we're going to do, we broadcast side hit. And I don't like doing this because I don't think it's a good style. And the problem is when you have 3 enemies, we'll get them going and then we'll pause it. When you have 3 enemies here and they reach the side, they are all going to do the broadcast. And the reason it works, so the problem is you could say, well, I broadcast and then that changes the direction. And then we're going to move the next one because when you're doing everything's running all at once, everything is not running all at once. Everything is being done one at a time, but little bits of each thing is being done quickly in a row. And what is happening, of course, is that this one is saying broadcast this, and if the broadcast event happens straight after, then that would change direction. And so the one, when you get down to moving the next one, which might be this one here, or this whole line here, that'll be moving now the other direction. So they'd get out of sync, and they wouldn't be lined up anymore. And then when that one hit the side, they'd all change direction. And when this one hit the side, they'd all change direction. And it would just get weirder and weirder and weirder. And the reason it works is because the broadcast is put into a queue of things. So at the moment, we're all doing the movement. So every sprite has now got being marked to do the movement thing. So on move enemies. So this event has been called. So somewhere else it said broadcast move enemies. Yeah, broadcast move enemies. So all of the enemies now are waiting in a queue to do their move enemies thing, or to start their move enemies block. And so they're at first in the queue. So when you broadcast side hit, this is going to get added to the end of the queue, which is after all the movement of the sprites. And the way that it does it is it follows the way that Scratch does it, that if in the same frame you've already broadcast this and it's waiting in the queue, basically, the next time you broadcast it, it's not going to do it twice. It's only going to do it once. It's sitting in the queue and that's it. So in this case, it will work. But I feel it's poor form because you shouldn't make assumptions about the order in which things are going to be done. Like, I think that's poor in this kind of context. There will be at some point an option where it will continually alter and reorganize the queue so that you can catch bugs like this, because sometimes it will work and sometimes it won't work. And you see this with Scratch projects. I've practiced loading in Scratch projects, and they don't work on this because the order that things are done is slightly different than on Scratch. But they've relied on this particular ordering. They don't realize they're doing it. They just like put some code in and it worked, and they don't want to touch anything. But if they did touch things, it could break. And so you want to make sure that you can shuffle things around to break things so that you know you've done something wrong. There's a helpful way. But anyway, at the moment it doesn't do that. So I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have another variable. And the way that you should do these things, I think, in this kind of thing. Where's the in-game? We're going to put another one. We're going to say boolean is hit wall equals false. And then we're going to go down here, and when we do our broadcast move enemies. So while we're in game, we're going to say, what do they call the variable? Is hit wall. We're going to say is hit wall equals false. And now we've got up here side hit. And we're just going to be lazy and we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to come down here. We could put this in a little block or something. And then we're going to broadcast that, and we're going to wait. So we're broadcasting and we're waiting till everything is done. And then we're going to say if is hit wall. I think we can definitely expand some of these side bits out because we're not going to use those. If hit wall, do this, do this, do this. Alright. And, still going to work. What we have to do is we have to get rid of that message, compile it again, and we're going to have these two little broadcast side hit. We're going to say stage is hit wall. You don't need the stage bit, but we're going to do it for good form. Is true. That's all we're doing. We're just going to set a flag. We're going to call this a flag that will say that yes, we've hit a wall. Why is it done twice? Oh, is move right. Oh, that's right. Stage is hit wall. We might want to do that as a block actually. block wall hit. We should start putting things in blocks. There will be an optimization to optimize these things. So if it's like a one-line block that's like that, then there's no point actually making it a real block. You could just substitute this code in. So when, say, you get it compiled to scratch, you would never see a wall hit. This is not how it works at the moment. You will see a wall hit block if you do it, but this is a future optimization where it will just substitute this, it will inline this code in here. So now it should compile, and hopefully when it hits the wall it will go down. So we'll do that, and now we have this thing, so it doesn't matter that I'm doing this trait. It's either true or false, and once it's true, it's going to be true. You can keep setting it true as many times as you want. Nothing is going to change until all of the clones, all the players have, all the enemies, sorry, have done their movement. Once that's done, then we in the script will, and so there's one less message calling thing. You're not calling any functions or starting anything, or starting any threads. It's a much more efficient way of doing it, and it's a more reliable way of doing it. And so this could also be a block where you just do this code. This is if hits wall, do that. Well, I'll do that. So now we've got this. So now the thing we want to do is, the next thing we want to do is to have a should we make another one, or should we just clone this one? So we can clone sprites. So we'll do a sprite clone. Clone. Again, we have that never-ending problem where the bullets do not clone. So we've got two errors with this, don't we? There are two problems. The first of is that it never updates the sprite list properly. But also, you may notice that the start frame does not get cloned correctly. So it's not the, we're going to call that enemy bullet. Enemy bullet. We can change that. It didn't copy across the start frame. So now I have to set it to bullet 2. And it will update. Some things don't automatically update, like the sprite list obviously is not going to. This other thing, sometimes it's a bit of a hassle to bother worrying about that when it's just not important. Cloning sprite. Editor. Not clone start frame. Yeah, this is not cloning in the sense of cloning within the code. This is literally cloning the actual sprite information. We have to check one other thing. So there'll be a sprite layout. How come I can't see it? Oh, there it is. It's already okay. So that copied across. So the fact that it's not visible is copied across. So that's nice. So all of that stuff's working. So now we're going to. Oh, I just realized that the bullets should do this too, shouldn't they? We had that whole clone thing, and bullets are cloned. Oh, we don't have to do that. That's the nice thing. We don't have to worry about, because the constructor is only ever called within a clone. Like the constructor thing is never, so anything that's happening within the constructor is guaranteed to be in a clone. So from the last video we had this problem where the hidden original enemy was being hit by things and causing problems, and you couldn't see that they were doing that, and so the problem is that they're a clone, they shouldn't exist. So you had to ask that it was a clone. They could actually have scripts that are just for clones, like you could have clone scripts main scripts and clone scripts. That might be handy. That wouldn't be too hard, but we'll see how it goes. So anyway, this one here, we're not going to play any sound effects. So this is the enemy. And we are going to, first off, we're going down the page. And we're only going to go to the bottom. So this is the opposite of what the player sprite. So the player sprite's going up the screen, and the enemy sprite's going down the screen. So player 1, touching player. But we're not going to worry too much about hitting things. Alright, we've got a. It's not called player 1, is it? What do they call player? You know the one thing that's missing in this little bracket thing that tells you the name of the variable. So, all right, and we've broken the rules, haven't we? that should be a capital P. Player 1. If we do that, it's going to muck everything up. What I just called it, I pressed escape, didn't I? Didn't I? Yeah. It's a bit too quick. Sorry, I didn't press enter. I pressed escape, and so it didn't actually upgrade. Yeah, there should be a capital letter. There should be. All right. So now we have an enemy bullet, and we might change the costumes a little bit. We'll go here, and then we're going to fill it in with a different color. We'll choose blue. No, we've used blue. We're going to use cyan. And didn't upgrade the little image there. We did it. It's hard to tell. So what we're going to do, scripts. How are we going to do this? If random, what's it called? So I got a pen in my mouth. What's the random thing called? Random. Have I forgotten to? I've forgotten to. Yeah, sensing I haven't done a lot of. I've forgotten to actually make a list of the scene, pen, block, sound, looks, motion, control. Give me a second. I'm going to look it up in the code. So not all of the operations are listed, unfortunately. So I'm just looking up the code. Random. Glide to random. I don't know. We've got that one. Glide to random. Random int function. Random float function. Okay. Which is just random. So if random 0 to 1 is less than 0.01, new enemy bullet at sprite X, sprite Y. Gotta spell. Whoa, that's a lot of bullets. I've just noticed that it's gone and changed everything back to the original. What a pain. That's not the bullet. Why did it do that? What have you done? What's gone wrong here? That is clearly not the bullet image. It's not chosen that one. Oh, this is going to be a hard error to find. Is it just because I've selected it? No, I haven't selected it. What's gone? What has gone wrong? Okay. Did it do that a second ago? Was I not firing the correct looking image? So if I comment that out, has it got something to do with firing bullets? Nope. Did I have a costume reference thing? Did my cloning constructor not work? This is weird. So the constructor, when you call the constructor, it should clone everything which is the default. And hold on, scripts. Let's start button. Scripts. Oh, why would I do that? What on earth would make me do this? Bullet 1. That's bullet 1. Why would I do that? I actually put in command to do that. That's silly. Alright. Okay. I think I must have done that in the previous video as an example of how to switch the sprites. By making a... I don't know why I want the little tiny ones, they look cute. Alright. So now we can go back and we can bring back in our code. So this is, all this is doing is, I'm picking a random number, and if it's less than 0, so this will be a number between 0 and 1. And if it's less than 0.01, I could have done this random int. We could do that too. A random int between 0 and 100. 0 and 1,000. If that is less than 5. So we have a 5, we have what? That's a 1 in 200 chance per frame that you'll shoot a bullet. Which is not as often as I would think. So of course that's going to be the difficulty setting for this game. So we want this to shoot quite a lot because I want to get hit. So we'll put it up to 20. As you can see, it does it. That's 4 times as more likely to shoot a bullet at any particular moment. And that's not all of them. Like, I think if you were doing this game properly, you would say, well, every 3 frames we're going to randomly pick, or every 10 frames we'll randomly pick. I shouldn't say frames. Every 1 second we should pick a random surviving enemy to fire a bullet, and then they will fire a bullet. And in this case, we're just doing it from the point of view of 1. And the problem with that, of course, is, as you can see, that as you get rid of most of them, it becomes easier. But what we can do is fire stage. Well, I'm going to go back to 0 to random. It doesn't really matter if you use 0 and 1. Stage enemy maybe I should have done with 0 and 1 because it will make my maths easier. But we'll put this. Oh, there's so many things here. That will equal 0.01. And as we know, as the counter goes down. So I don't think did I actually do the counting of how many enemies are left. Is there an enemy count? To set up waves. Enemy count equals right, we'll just go enemy count equals 0. Enemy count plus equal 1. And then when the enemies die, where do I go? where's my die thing? Where's die? Where do I die? Stage enemy count minus equal 1. Print enemies left. So I'm putting a counter of the enemies in the game that starts off at 0. Enemy. What did I call it? Gosh. Oh, I didn't actually create the variable, did I? Whoopsies. Enemy count. Doesn't matter what that one is because it's kind of overwritten. So now when I shoot one, enemies left 17, 16. We can have a thing. We can have a thread running in the stage that just monitors. Or we can do it in the main loop. The number left, and as they get less and less and less, the firing rate will increase. But we will leave that for later. And also that will tell me if I finish the level, right? Once I get down to 0 enemies, then it's game over. And we might try that. We'll stuff in a very quick one for that. So do set up waves. Start level. So we're doing the in-game thing. And we go if enemy count equals 0, print end game, and we'll just for now go title. So let's just painfully go through and shoot everything. When we get there, we go back to the title, enemy and title, and it says it an awful lot of times. It's stuck in a loop. That's interesting. Alright, we do have a problem. So the go title did not stop this function. Alright, I'm actually going to finish it off there because I got some things to do. We will come back next time and we will get it so that you actually die. Go title not quit script. That's going to be a pain to fix. So yes, when you, unless it's being broadcast, it is on start level. No, this is a one-off thing. Again, once I've upgraded the running code, it should work fine. I think this should actually work better on the exports because that code was more sane. So what will happen here is, as I said, print bit after. This is the bit after, right? This should never ever run. So this bit of code here shouldn't actually ever happen. So what's happening, I think, is I'm going to the title, but we're still stuck in this loop even after everything has done. Or did I just design it that way? I can't remember. Stop script. Well, let's just see if the stop script stuff works. It's not called stop script. It's called, what is it called? Stop this script. Apparently I haven't remembered to put those in either. Okay. Oh, there's other ones too. On background change, that's kind of implemented, but I don't think I upgraded it. So stop. Alright. It's either stop my script, stop this script, stop other. So there's stop other scripts, stop object scripts, stop all scripts, stop. Okay. I we have to go through all of them? Oh my gosh. No, we don't have to go through all of them. Less than or equal to 12. Alright, we just have to shoot 4 of them. Gonna make it a bit of a challenge. Or not. 14. Okay, there's more than I thought. Enemy hit. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's weird. The stop does work, but the go title. Now that's a good question, right? Is that the way that it should work, or is it not the way that it should work? So if I go to the title, do you actually want to be able to continue in the current thread that you called this on? So normally when you change scenes in this, it stops all the scripts in every single thing and then restarts them according to what the scene says it should be. So how you've defined the scene down in the scene list. But I kind of feel like maybe it's useful not to stop the script that you call the go thing from, but that could be problematic. I think we really want it to stop, so we'll have to check that out. Anyway, thanks for that. We will come back and I will work out why the click doesn't work anymore, even though it quite clearly internally is registering the click. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of output in the debug window here. I will add in all of the things that I'm missing in here. So the other on things that are not listed are on background changed. I think I can't remember if I ever I didn't even realize it was a function. It's a really weird, and there's 2 different types of on background change. Like, well, you can. I think you can. I can't. Oh, that's what you can change. That's right. There's no change background and weight. So you have this broadcast and weight. There's also change background and weight, which is something I never implemented because it's just like I didn't even realize it was a function. It does make sense, but it's not the best way of doing things. There's on loudness changed. I think that was kind of implemented. I think it may just ignore it because there's no audio input. And whatever other event there is, I think there's another weird event that no one ever uses. They are kind of implemented, but they were on the very old structure for internal running structure. The implementation that runs the code, like here, this thing here. There's several code versions of this, and the earlier one, I know that I haven't transferred the networking code across, which is why you can't see anything for the networking code. But the networking code is all there. I just wanted to change it, so I will come back and add those things on. Anyway, my point is, yeah, we'll fix everything up. Thanks for watching, and we'll just save it. Have a good afternoon. So, but yeah, I was actually going to one last thing. I was going to do an example. I might do another video where we talk about the newer internal engine and do some speed tests. It runs twice as fast for some things. It doesn't run as fast as I think it should. Like I wrote a recursive Fibonacci calculating thing, and it runs faster with the new code, which it should do. But I feel like it should run way faster than it does, because the current code is not very good at recursive or function calls, and the new code is way better. So there's probably, because it's a mix, it's probably not doing everything as well. But I was going to do another video where we will test how the speed of the internal running engine works compared to Scratch and Turbo Warp and the actual current HTML output. One other thing that I have added on the exports, so there's a few other things I've been working on. When you export it, which we're not just yet, you can add web export. Now it has a couple of different options. So you can output it to a folder, you can output it to a zip file, you can output it to a zip file and a folder, and these are the two things for choosing those things. You have a template type, which is the simple, which is one that I had before, which is this really boring one where you have a title and you have some full screen options and you have a few other things. And there's one that's set up for itch.io, and it's just, so if basically what you do is you would say, well, I'm going to deploy to a zip file and it's going to be itch.io, and then it's just basically making an itch.io, like a file that you can upload straight to itch.io to publish your games there. So you might not be able to load it, upload to Scratch legally. If you do a Scratch, it has a warning now where it says you can't do this. We have to be responsible. Yeah. So yeah, the aim is, I haven't tested it of course because I haven't ever uploaded anything to itch.io. Is to make it very, very easy to deploy to itch.io and hopefully some other game development websites, because I think itch.io has you just upload a zip file of your HTML, and the difference between the itch.io and the simple one is that the itch.io one is just basically all that the web page is your game, and there's nothing else, and it's meant to be inlined into another web page, which is how itch.io works, I think. So later on, that exporter will have a lot more options. There will be more options. There will be options to the target resolution. So regardless of what the Scratch resolution, so you'll be able to expand out the window so it's much bigger, and it will scale everything accordingly. So it doesn't. It outputs everything as bitmap images, but if it's an SVG file, it will scale it to fit better. And at some point there'll be like an upscaling frame, so you can upscale it to 60 frames per second. Upscale is the wrong word, but we can do, well, I want to do that for fun, and of course at some point those will be options. You will actually have the option in here to change the resolution of the game, so it could be a widescreen thing, and you can also change the frames per second. So I haven't done any of these things simply because I originally wanted this to be designed to upload to Scratch. So it's always been like you haven't been able to do these things, and also later on there will be the option to have like much bigger game. So you'll have the view window, and you'll be able, you can already do it, of course, you can already drag things and put them outside of the screen, which works fine in this context. But what will happen is there will be a big rectangle that you'll see here, and there will be like a little tiny faint ghost like outline of a rectangle that will move, always centered in the middle of the window, which is the view rectangle, so you know what you're looking at as you move around. And you have your outside world, and then you'll be able to, and you'll also be able to change the camera on objects. So these are things I want to do straight after I've published it, really, because I want to start making this to be a functional game engine, and then you can really easily write camera follows sort of behaviors or something, and you can move all the way around, and you'll be able to move around a scrolling space. And at a later point you'll be able to add in tile maps, so that you can scroll around tile maps and all those kind of things, which will be kind of funny. There'll be like a more advanced way that's kind of like in Construct 3, and then there'll be a sort of simplified way that I think I can transfer across to Scratch, so the same kind of way that, you know, the Griff Patch scrollers work, but there's it would become quite hard to translate that if I do a more general style where you have, like, you know, in Construct you can have a big rectangle which is the scroll map, but it doesn't actually have to line up perfectly with everywhere in the space, and it might not fill up all of the screen at once, and it gets a bit strange. So we'll have fun doing that though. So anyway, thanks for watching. Nothing else to say, and bye.